How do you carve a tunnel wider than a 5-story building beneath one of the planet's most temperamental rivers? But wait, there's another twist. A deadline, 110 days. Seems impossible, right? Well, no more. Today, we'll unpack how China built the world's largest underwater tunnel in just 110 days. Let's get started. Why was the tunnel needed? Jinan, the capital of Shandong province in eastern China, sits astride the lower reaches of the Yellow River. By 2020, the municipality counted more than 9.4 million permanent residents and over 3 million registered vehicles, according to data from the Jinan Municipal Bureau of Statistics. Rapid urbanization over the previous 2 decades concentrated commercial districts south of the river, while large new housing developments rose on the northern floodplain. Daily commuting between these 2 zones steadily intensified, and by 2021, the navigation company AMAP's annual congestion index ranked Jinan as the most gridlocked city in China for a 2nd consecutive year. The report estimated that traffic delays were costing the local economy about 15 billion yuan, roughly $2.3, each year in wasted fuel, lost productivity, and delivery disruptions. This could not stand. For decades, drivers seeking to cross the Yellow River in Jinan had only 2 primary fixed routes: the Jinan Yellow River Highway Bridge, completed in 1982, and the Jinan Second Yellow River Bridge, opened in 1992. Both carry a mix of national and provincial expressways, and by the late 2010s their combined daily traffic volume exceeded 150,000 vehicles, far beyond their original design capacities. During peak holiday periods, the bridges routinely suffered tailbacks stretching more than 6 kilometers, turning what should be a 10-minute trip into journeys lasting well over an hour. Ferries provided an alternative but were even slower and prone to seasonal interruptions caused by flooding, ice, or strong currents. Local transport authorities recorded that the ferry crossings together moved fewer than 10,000 passengers per day. This was a negligible share of total demand in a metropolis of Jinan's size. Simply adding another bridge was not a realistic solution. The Yellow River in this section is famous for its shifting course and unstable banks, earning it the historical nickname China's Sorrow. Geologists from Shandong University have documented annual lateral movements of up to 20 meters in some reaches, a result of high sediment loads and frequent floods. Any new piers would have to be sunk into thick layers of unconsolidated silt, creating a risk of differential settlement and long-term structural instability. In addition, the Ministry of Ecology and Environment has designated several stretches of the Jinan riverfront as key ecological reserves to protect wetlands and migratory bird habitats. These zones restrict heavy construction and require extensive environmental impact assessments. Urban density on the south bank posed another formidable obstacle. Satellite mapping by the Jinan Urban Planning Bureau showed that the only geologically stable alignments for an additional bridge would have cut directly through neighborhoods housing more than 240,000 residents. Large-scale demolition and relocation on that scale would have been politically and financially prohibitive. Previous attempts to widen the existing bridges had already met resistance from local communities because of noise, dust, and the loss of riverside parkland. Municipal planners concluded that any above-water crossing would either destroy valuable housing stock or require rerouting of major expressways, compounding congestion instead of relieving it. These combined factors, runaway traffic demand, limited and overburdened crossings, geological instability, and strict environmental protections, created an urgent need for an alternative solution. In 2018, the Jinan Development and Reform Commission commissioned feasibility studies from the China Railway Tunnel Group and the Shandong Provincial Transport Institute to evaluate subaqueous options. Their reports highlighted that a shield tunneling approach, buried more than 40 meters below the riverbed, would avoid the shifting silt layers near the surface while leaving the protected wetlands untouched. Cost estimates initially ranged between 6.5 and 7 billion yuan, a figure deemed acceptable when compared with the economic losses from chronic congestion. By 2020, the proposal gained formal approval from the National Development and Reform Commission. The decision to proceed reflected broader national priorities as well. China's 13th Five-Year Plan emphasized the creation of intercity transport corridors to support the coordinated development of the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei and Shandong Peninsula city clusters. Jinan's position as a regional logistics hub on the Beijing-Shanghai high-speed rail corridor made alleviating its internal traffic bottlenecks a matter of provincial and national interest. The green light was given. Now came the challenging part: project scope and design. The structure extends 5.4 kilometers from the south bank near Huayin district to the rapidly growing northern districts of Jinan. Of this length, 3.6 kilometers run directly beneath the river itself, making the Jinan-Huanggang Road Tunnel one of the longest subaqueous urban roadways in the country. The alignment reaches a maximum depth of about 46 meters, or approximately 150 feet, below the riverbed. The tunnel's cross-section is unprecedented in size. With an internal diameter of 17.5 meters, or roughly 56 feet, it holds the record as the world's widest underwater shield tunnel as of its completion in late 2024. This surpasses the 14.4-meter Rogfast tunnel currently under construction in Norway and doubles the 7.6-meter bores of the Channel Tunnel linking Britain and France. Engineers selected a circular shield configuration to resist the variable pressures of the Yellow River and to simplify the continuous placement of precast concrete lining segments. The outer concrete wall measures about 1.2 meters thick, capable of withstanding hydrostatic pressures approaching 580 kilopascals. This is the force exerted by dozens of tons of water on every square meter of surface. A key innovation is the tunnel's double-decker roadway. Instead of two separate bores, designers stacked traffic in two levels within the same circular tube. The upper deck carries 3 southbound lanes from the northern new districts toward central Jinan, while the lower deck accommodates 3 northbound lanes. Each carriageway maintains a standard lane width of 3.5 meters, allowing passenger cars, buses, and freight vehicles to travel simultaneously. This configuration minimizes the surface footprint and reduces excavation volume compared with building 2 parallel single-deck tunnels of equal capacity. Structural engineers from Shandong University collaborated with the China Railway 14th Bureau Group to model vibration and load distribution so that traffic on one level does not compromise the stability of the other. Traffic management inside the tunnel relies on an integrated intelligent transport system designed by the Jinan Urban Construction Group in cooperation with Huawei Technologies. The posted speed limit is 60 km per hour, but adaptive LED signage and variable message boards allow operators to adjust limits in real time based on traffic density or maintenance needs. Entry ramps on both banks are equipped with AI-controlled traffic lights that meter vehicle flow to prevent backups within the confined space. Cameras and radar sensors feed continuous data to a central control room where algorithms can detect stopped vehicles or accidents within seconds and automatically trigger ventilation changes or emergency alerts. Ventilation and safety systems are engineered to match the unprecedented scale of the bore. 16 jet fans per kilometer, each capable of moving more than 100 cubic meters of air per second, can completely replace the air volume of the tunnel in under 3 minutes. 27 emergency cross passages, located at 200-meter intervals, lead to elevated walkways protected against potential flooding. These exits connect to vertical shafts that provide independent escape routes to the surface. Fire suppression is handled by a high-pressure water mist system, while thousands of sensors monitor temperature, carbon monoxide, and structural strain in real time. When fully operational, the Jinan-Huanggang Road Tunnel is designed to handle an average of 30,000 vehicles every day, a figure derived from regional transport modeling by the Shandong Provincial Department of Transportation. At peak hours, the facility is expected to carry nearly 3,000 vehicles per lane per hour, easing pressure on the city's 2 overburdened Yellow River bridges. Municipal planners estimate that the new crossing will cut average north-south commute times by more than 40% and reduce annual vehicle emissions in central Jinan by tens of thousands of metric tons due to smoother traffic flow and the elimination of long idling periods on congested approaches.